it is Cassandra, and I'm here with my good buddy Chad Scott. And I'm a relationship coach, and I inspire men to create incredible memories with their loved ones.
As you said, Chad Scott, relationship life coach, and big on being accountable and being an accountability partner.
Yes. So we're going to do something really fun with you guys today. We're going to do a reaction video. One of the things I'm passionate about is exploring and explaining feminine and masculine energy and how they play out in relationships, how they play out internally. So one of the biggest misconceptions is that men are all masculine and women are all feminine, but that simply isn't true. It's an energy, it's the way that we're just providing language and context to an energetic field. It's no different than women and men having both testosterone and estrogen. It's the same concept. But what I love to do is I love to use movies or images or media to help clients, to help people understand how the dynamics work, how they can work together, and how sometimes they don't work if they're like out of sync. So we're going to use one of our favorite movies.
Yes.
John Q. Have you seen the movie John Q?
I love John Q. John Q is one of the first movies that spoke to me in my soul.
Right, yes.
So
that's a good way of putting it.
One part we're going to talk about is when it spoke to me, I'm like, yo, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So we're going to go into that. And basically, those that did not see John Q, it's basically a movie about a husband, a father.
Yeah, there we go.
That, doing what he can with the family function. And what happened is his son got diagnosed with an enlarged heart. Right. And in that process of trying to get his son treatment, the insurance saying, it need more upfront money. The insurance don't cover it. And now he put himself in a position that how can he save his child and the family, basically, the dynamics of the family.
Right. So I will say this. Even though I'm explaining masculine energy in particular in this clip or this reaction video, this is an exaggerated
movie.
example. This is not an everyday thing. So please, gentlemen, as I'm going to describe what every woman wants. This is what a woman wants when we're talking about masculine energy. But this is an exaggerated example. So please don't pull out the guns. Don't go to no hospital. Please. We're not supporting any of that.
Find other ways.
Right. Find other ways.
We want everybody to be at peace.
Exactly. Yeah. But we're going to have a little conversation and understand this is a dialogue. Even though Chad and we cannot hear you right now, we do want you guys to chime in the comments. We want to keep this going.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm sharing this is so that people could understand what masculine energy can look like and how the feminine responds to it.
All right. You ready?
I am ready. Y'all ready? Y'all don't have a choice.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Radishes.
No, it's Risk. Yeah! Ronnie Coleman, Mr. Olympia, 2-year bunny. Yeah!
Great job.
I know, so cute.
Bye, Mike.
Not goodbye. I hate goodbye.
I remember that part.
Remember? See you later.
All right, see you later.
See you later. I start saying that too.
Oh.
Everybody the Bible, so if you can. I'll pass out if I see my child do that.
Mickey, baby.
Somebody call an ambulance.
Good Lord.
Mike's heart is useless. He's going to need a transplant or he's going to die. Let's do it.
There are no provisions in your policy for a procedure of this magnitude. We require a down payment before we can put a patient's name on it.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
How much?
$75,000.
$75,000.
Ooh, chills.
And put my son's
Our
name.
son is upstairs dying, and I need you to sit here and talk about money.
Doing everything he can.
John, listen to me. They are releasing him. Do something.
Woo.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Yo, how old is this movie? And it still hits.
Yeah. I think that even as a kid, I was a kid.
Right.
What year this came up? We gotta look at that real quick.
Right.
But as watching it, that moment she said, do something, it spoke to me. Like, yeah, it's one of the things where your wife or someone you care about, you feel hopeless in the moment and they need you to do something. You put pressure, like, what can I do? What can I say? There need to be action because someone's hurting.
Exactly.
And you need your help. You feel hopeless, but in that moment when someone tells you that, it put that barrier in the back, that put the extra weight in your shoulder. Like, I have to do something.
Yes.
Because I need to rectify the situation.
Child, I can't take the pressure.
What's your takeaway?
So first of all, this movie is almost like 18 years old. It came out in 2002.
Got it.
All right. So I think I was just graduating high school, if I'm not mistaken, around that time. So here's the thing, right? Masculine energy is a doing energy. Feminine energy flows. It receives. Masculine provides. It gives.
Yeah.
So I think that what's interesting in the movie is that she says, do something. So when the feminine has to command the masculine to do something, it's probably because she senses or feels in that moment that he's too much in his feminine.
I got you.
He's too much relaxed. The man may not feel like that in that moment, but she is not satisfied in his presence as a man. And one of the things I wanted to discuss is the 4 Ps.
Go ahead.
This is not my own take, but this is something that one of my close friends, who's also like a big time studier of like feminine masculine energy, he put me onto this. His name is Daniel Schwartz.
No. Yeah,
and we did an Instagram live on this where he talked about the 4 Ps. And it is, I'll tell you guys right now what it is. It's presence, protection, providing, and the 4th one is penetration, but not necessarily in a sexual way, although, of course.
Yeah, it comes with it.
It counts.
Double entendre.
Right.
Go ahead.
Absolutely right. So I want to talk about the 4 Ps. So I think that in my experience in talking with guys and coaching guys, like I said, I like to inspire men. I like to work with men. I like to work with the masculine. The reason I like to work with men is because I feel like when it comes to the relationship, category or life, a lot of people focus on women. What women want, what women need. Even though this is about what women want, what women need, it's directed towards men. To really get an understanding, because a lot of times guys will say things like, I don't know how to be a man. Like when a guy gets really comfortable and really vulnerable, it's never the first conversation. It's usually after we build that rapport. And I cannot tell you enough how much that breaks me down. You know what I'm saying? So I want to help you guys out by helping you understand what the masculine looks like regarding the 4 Ps and why the feminine is looking for that.
Got it.
So the first P is presence. You're nervous. I love Chad. I don't want to make a mistake. I'm a little nervous, y'all. So
that's right. Go ahead.
In any case, it is presence, right? I know for a fact that at one time or another, a woman or the feminine has said to the masculine or to her man, I need you here.
Got it.
And I know for a fact that 9 times out of 10, the man says, I'm here. Because it's not registering, right?
Yeah.
And so when in this scene in John Q, when she's saying to do something, she's basically saying, I don't feel your presence to the gravity of the situation. Do you not understand? We're about to lose our son.
What's your roster?
You over here counting dollar bills? Like, it's not like, if we have to go at it though at your pace, he not gonna make it. So I need you to do something. So gentlemen, when the feminine is commanding your presence, that's not the time to tell her what she's saying isn't true.
Got it.
You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times guys try to skate around it. Instead of telling her it's not true, you could ask her, what could I provide? Or what is it that you're looking for? And I'm going to be honest, and this is not going to be the answer that a lot of guys want to hear.
Go ahead.
A lot of times women don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't know. They just know that they want something to be resolved.
You do something.
Something.
Do something.
I don't know what it is, but something.
This ain't it.
Yeah, figure it out.
What we have right now is not what it is. I need you to do something.
Correct.
And within that.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
What's your take on that?
No, I think that what happens is, I get it. It's just one of the things where a lot of times women feel like they're not being heard or seen.
That's right.
And in that moment when it seemed like they want you to rise to that occasion.
Yes.
And in those occasions, even though this is extreme.
Yes.
But if it could be, the bills need to get paid.
Yeah.
It could be as if she feel like you need to get a job or something need to happen, or even come relationship, something in a relationship where the person cheated, or they need something right now to feel like you're present.
Correct.
And you understand what's happening right now and how I'm feeling.
From her perspective.
Yeah.
Not from yours. Okay? And this is where I think the first initial friction happens. Especially when a man is in love, and especially when a man feels like he's doing everything he can do. The last thing he wants to hear is where he's missing the mark.
Got it.
But what happens is a lot of times men move according to their perception of how a man should be.
Yeah.
But you gotta move according to the one that you're with. Right? So if you're present to your lady, you can't treat her the way that you saw your dad treating your mom. Even if your father was an amazing husband.
Got it.
Even if what the recipe they had worked, that may not work for your lady.
Yeah.
So you can be giving all this energy, doing everything that you can for her, doing everything that you've seen your dad doing, but you're not present to your wife. You're present to the concept of a husband. Got to be in your marriage. The second P is protection. So this is energetic and this is biological.
Yeah.
Right? So we all pretty much know that most of the time men have a considerable amount more of testosterone than women do.
Yes.
And that just makes men so much stronger. Mm-hmm. It makes men so much stronger physically and energetically. So that means that most guys can burn the midnight oil a lot longer than a woman can. Like, women can get depleted, we can get tired, even if it's on our cycle. This is not to say that women can't bring it and we don't have it. We certainly can. It's just that due to this hormone, sometimes a lot of men can give a lot more. So women need to feel that protection, right? We need to feel protected physically and especially emotionally, right? And sometimes guys miss the mark on both. So I'll give you an example. Like, if you were to ask a woman in your life how she feels walking down the street, a lot of women don't feel safe.
At all. There was a post actually about that where the post basically saying, if there was no such thing as men around, what would you do? You'd be like, I would walk with a t-shirt on, a tank top. Like, it was just a mindset of they don't feel safe walking the streets.
That's right.
Because of, harassment or somebody hitting on them or the danger of that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And here's the thing, right? Some guys are good at the protection physically part. Some guys are not, right? And that's a whole other story. But what I do want to touch upon is feeling emotionally safe. That means that she's not walking on eggshells, right? That means that she can express herself completely and fully. And sometimes when guys hear this, they feel like, well, I don't feel like I can express myself when I'm with my lady. And a lot of times it's because it's not given to her first.
Yeah.
The more you allow her to be, and this is where it comes with the harmony and the balance within yourself, a man being in touch with his feminine side. Sometimes guys be like, oh, you so emotional. Okay, so then when it's your turn to be in some ish, she gonna turn that around on you. Most women will give you what you give her. So if you give her that rope to be emotional, she gonna cut you that rope to be emotional.
Yeah, and in those moments, that relationship issues when they start saying, well, man up. They like, when they in their feelings.
Definitely.
And try to neglect the man's feelings because they feel like, oh, you gave me that energy. I can't be emotional. You can't be emotional.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely. So women want to feel emotionally protected. You can do this by listening. And I like to say something like when a coach taught me is like, listen twice and then ask a question. Don't be quick to solve the issue. Don't be quick with the answer. But listen to what she's saying twice. Right? Because sometimes the first thing that what she's saying isn't what she really means. Right? So in this example where she's saying do something, she's not really trying to say you're not doing nothing at all. Yeah. Right? Because most guys will be like, I am doing something. I saw this. I did it. He wants to now validate that he's making the energy. She is not saying that. What she is saying is, I do not feel safe. I do not feel like the efforts that we're making is going to be enough for our son. Yeah. So listen twice and then respond. The third P is providing. What's your take on that?
So that's a big take on me because I talk about it all the time, and that's one of the reasons why I'm single. Because I feel like when it comes to providing, not only money wise, but providing that kind of all the things we talk about, as far as being present, being there, providing for me is that kind of concept of being able to safe space in a sense, but also the comfort of that. And like I said, so in my mind, I look at providing for as monetary too, but also look at providing the kind of bandwidth that we talked before. What about you?
What do you mean? What do you mean by bandwidth?
I think they'll be able to now taking on that kind of responsibility, so to speak.
Definitely.
Good. So that's what I'm looking at when it comes to those providing not just a money thing, but also providing that space.
Yes.
So with the breakdown.
So for the breakdown, so understand that feminine energy receives, right? And I know a lot of times guys will say things like, "What's she bringing to the table? I'm giving, I'm giving, I'm giving." My response to that is, have you ever tried to give somebody something and they didn't want it?
Got it.
Have you ever felt rejected, right? Could you imagine a world in which you're trying to give to somebody and somebody's making it seem like what you're giving ain't good enough?
Got it.
That's not a good feeling either. There is something beautiful about when you're giving something to somebody and they're willing to receive it.
Yeah.
And so we're in the context of provision and providing, it is a blessing because to provide means that you have abundance. If you don't have anything to provide, that means you're in lack.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a mindset thing. And women, in order for her to be in her feminine, she has to be in a space to receive. There has to be something that there is to give.
Got it.
And it's not to say that it don't exchange. Like, of course we go back and forth, but we want to be mindful of the gift of that it goes both ways. It is not just that she gets to get and get and get and get. It's also that you have so much of an abundance to give that you get to get it out of you and put it into the atmosphere, because what a woman can do is we're incubators.
Yeah.
So, like they say, if you give a woman groceries, she'll make you a meal. If you give a woman a house, she'll make it a home. If you guys know how to work together as a team, whatever you're giving to her, she's going to expand it. She's going to magnify it. So don't think that you're just giving out seed and it's spilling and going nowhere.
Got it.
But people got to shift their mindset around that. So it's a beautiful thing when a man provides. It helps the woman to get into her feminine. It helps to bring out her creative side. If she has to step into her masculine and she has to be the provider, she don't really get the luxury of being in her feminine, which is to expand that and to get creative in that.
Yeah. That's where the conflict comes in sometimes.
Definitely. So the last P is penetration. Every time people hear this, they start giggling. They start laughing. And like we said, it is a double entendre, but the penetration, Lord have mercy. Father God, in the name of Jesus, bring me this part of the man. Please, Father, sir, thank you. Okay? Because it is challenging. All right? Penetrate means for her to feel loved in her soul, in her bones. This is what helps a woman to relax. When men feel like they're with another man in the house, right? That's not a good thing. All of these P's helps to create something called polarity.
Got it.
Polarity means not necessarily, it's not the exact opposite. There is an opposite element to it, but it's kind of like a battery where it has a negative and a positive, right? You can't have two positives, you can't have two negatives, it's not going to work. You need that opposite kind of element so that you can create some magnetism. It's the magic, you know what I mean? And when you can penetrate a woman in her soul, really get her, really be present with her, provide, protect her, and you can do the penetrate part in her soul where she feels so loved, I'm telling you, that would be the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes,
you see the smile?
tenfold.
You see the smile on his face?
Because I think that for me, my dating experience, like even me being around women so much, I think that what they get drawn by me is that. That part when I'm able to make them feel like they're the only person in the world, make them feel like I got it, I understand it, and I'm on board. Yeah. And I think that when you penetrate in that sense, well, we can talk about other times later, but when you penetrate in that sense, it helps with the completion. And feel like this relationship is complete. Absolutely. And when they feel complete, you're saying, with blessings is tenfold in a sense. So when they feel complete, that anxiety or they feel like we got this. Yes. And that's what happens. So I think by those all P's make sense, and I'm rolling with that concept because I see how all those things
you see it right
now add value to the bigger picture of teamwork. Yes. And I think that what happens when people don't understand that or get caught up in the moment, that's when the friction comes in. Correct. So that's when the problems, they feel like, you ain't listening to me. Right. It's because what you're asking for and what you're doing, there's not lacking, but they need to understand that for these occasions, we want you to step up in a sense.
Correct.
Both angles. And
Yes.
understand that pathway. But when John Q and that we want to use this as an example,
Yes.
don't go,
No.
take it down.
No.
Robbing banks or anything in that
Exactly.
nature.
Exactly. But yeah,
Okay.
he was able to basically, even though he took this extreme route,
This is a movie.
but
yeah.
the penetration for her finally occurred. She was able to relax when things started to move and roll. Because he got it. Save by any means necessary, save our son. And you can see that finally, if you watch the movie, if you haven't watched the movie, all right,
go check it out.
Exactly, because I'm about to just say what happens, right? But when it gets to that point where their son was gonna get that heart, and he was checking out everything like that, you could see she's relaxed. She went from that do something to like, you know what I'm saying? She gets soft.
Like that.
Right. You know what I'm
and
saying? She gets relaxed in her body, and this is what the masculine wants to experience. He wants to see the woman relax. He wants to see her happy. As I'm explaining everything, Chad is over here smiling. Chad is not married. He's not dating right now. But I'm sure in his mind as a man, you're imagining when my woman is satisfied. Do you see that?
Because it's one thing where I know
You
that.
see?
That's why I date the way I date and move the way I move, because I know how that feels.
Yes, and you cannot. And this is a feeling. No Jordan, no car. You know what I'm saying? No amount of booty thrown back in a circle can provide that sense of completion in a man when he knows his woman is good. So when men get frustrated in their relationships, it's probably because they're spending a little bit too much time on one of the P's. Either too much time sexually penetrating, but not emotionally penetrating. Too much time providing is a big one. And most of the time, they're not present.
Got it.
If whatever they're present to has nothing to do with her. The feminine.
They just feel like, even when they're present, they feel like, I'm here.
Correct.
But not
correct. They're not connected.
Not connected.
Correct.
They're like,
Yes.
I'm in the house with you.
Right. I'm playing for you right here. You good? Always want to check in.
Yeah, got it.
So you guys, I hope you enjoyed the breakdown, the reaction video that we using media to describe feminine and masculine energy. In this case, masculine energy, talking about the 4 Ps. This is the first time that Chad was hearing it, but I'm sure you've heard these concepts.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah.
I always like that when something like, it makes sense, come together. And
Yes.
full circle.
Yes. So let us know if you've experienced a guy who's done all these P's for you in such a way that has moved you. Do you desire it? How would you feel if you got this? Guys, chime in below if you feel like, oh, okay, this is what I was missing, or oh, okay, this is what I was doing right. We want to hear from you. And you guys stay tuned to the next reaction video because
We have more.
we're going to have more. Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and we will check y'all later.